Welcome to Queens of Comedy Finds and Prosecutes, Waldo. My name's Charlie. I'm kicking us off tonight. That intro went on a little long, didn't it? You guys are in the audience just like, woo! All right! I don't know the lyrics to this. We use see you as a goodbye phrase, but it kind of makes more sense as a hello phrase. Good start, good audience. I'm in a step aerobics class, which is the facts. In a step aerobics class, and step aerobics, you kind of get into this like dance-like trance, and then halfway through you'll like suddenly contextualize your surroundings and be like, it's the same as when you're in a dream and you realize that you're in a dream, and you're like, this is surreal and off, and why am I here, right? It's sort of like that. It's also a little like being in a Snapchat, because it's not very long, but the amount of embarrassment that can be crammed in. We listened to this bizarre song about like, it's like, gotta get a chicken dinner, and that just goes on for 50 minutes. Those bars just go on. Every once in a while they say beef, and that's like a fun verse, I guess. Basically, step aerobics is like hell if you made it like goofy and with like 50s era sensibilities. You know, like each step has like a distinct feeling of like, Russia might kill us today. To make step aerobics a little more enjoyable, I now have this game where I pick someone at the beginning of step aerobics class, and I do not tell them. And I copy them exactly for the entire class. And like, so if they have long hair and they like do hair stuff in the back, you know, hair stuff, girls, hair stuff. If they like are playing with their hair in the back, I will mime having hair. Like it's that specific, and it's always the same. They normally don't realize it, but when they do, they'll be looking in the mirror and they'll like look at me and they'll be like, "There's no way." It would be insane if he was doing that. And they'll do a minor test, right? They'll be like, whoa, and I will be over here and I'll do this. Okay? No. And then they'll do like a more extreme test. They'll be like, whoop, and they'll look at me. And that's the only move for the entire class I do not copy. The goal of the class is to question your sanity. Good job. There aren't a lot of athletic people in step aerobics. There are some graceful people in step aerobics. No, I'm not gonna do that. That felt wrong. Step aerobics is really to PE credit as intro astronomy is to lab science credit. For the record, I'm in both. Senior year. I'm mesmerized by this one girl in step aerobics. It's not a sexual thing. Nothing in step aerobics can be. Mesmerized by her. She can do the moves. It's like cool. What? One of the moves is this. No, not a cool thing, right? But she does it like half vaudeville, half just kicking it. You know, the perfect blend of attitudes. You know that thing. And I want to be like her because I want to be cool. You know, right? That's a relatable thing, right? I feel like we're really connected. I want to be cool like her, and I've kind of acknowledged that I'm not going to ever look cool doing something cool. You know, like if I told you I did a kickflip, your first question would be, hey, what's your definition of a kickflip? But if I told you I was good at step aerobics, you'd be like, sure, your spindly legs can get it. Yeah. Trying to figure out what cool is. In 5th grade, cool was wearing a hat, right? If you wore a hat, you were kind of cool. 4 people in the audience just bought hats, I guess. In 5th grade, if you're wearing a hat, you're kind of cool. And I always thought, like, oh, okay, so hair is uncool. But the bald kids weren't that cool in 5th grade, you know? You guys like really struck. Something about bald kids I'm not getting. So I haven't figured out how to be cool. I have a suspicion that it's about having just the right amount of hair. I'm not super sure. I had a couple friends last year. A couple less this year. Last year that were seniors, and they had a house, and they threw house parties, which I went to, and they were fine. And the seniors graduated, and neither were on track to go to graduate school or to marry a fellow Carl, so they were euthanized by Carlton to keep those guys. But I realized I didn't really enjoy the the party, there's nothing intrinsically fun to me about like hanging out in like a sweaty ball, right? It's not like fun or like magical, right? But for some reason society is like, hey, if you don't like hanging out in those sweaty balls, you're a fucking loser. You're a non, right? They call you games for not liking being rubbed, right? And like, that's crazy. Imagine a world where like everyone plays Yahtzee all the fucking time, sometimes during the day, scandalous. And if you don't play Yahtzee with them, you're a social outcast. That's like a teen, like dystopian thriller called The Snake Eye. It's just not. So the solution is to have a few drinks, you know, loosen up, and then you're good to enjoy the enchanting forest of bodies. But I'm just wondering, like, why can't our baseline activity start out fun? Like, why can't we start with Parcheesi, right? Or Candyland. Candyland is simple enough that if you get drunk, it's still, like, workable. Right? So why can't we start with something engaging and fun? I think the reason is because then there'd be no incentive to drink. And as we all know, the goal of every party is for the hosts to get rid of their alcohol as fast as possible, right? Seniors, that's freshmen. That's why seniors let you crash their parties. It's because at the beginning of the year, all the seniors are given 2 kegs, and if we don't get rid of them all, then we don't get to graduate. It's called comps. We all procrastinate. That's why spring term is so turnt. Black lad is crunch time. You can go water skiing. And then you can also go skiing. They're both on water. We should specify the state of the matter. Make it more clear. Hey, you want to take my boat out and go liquid water skiing? Yeah. I'm a snowboarder. What are you? Oh, I'm a solid water skier. Yeah. Hey, if you go off this jump and it's really humid out, you can gas water ski briefly. Evaporation. And if you go in the middle of a supernova with skis, you can plasma water ski. Right? There's only 4 elements. Don't worry, that joke has been beaten to its theoretical limits.
My physics joke!
Good impression to all of these. I actually need a suggestion for this next joke. Something that you buy off of Amazon.
Your mom. A hat.
We'll go with your hat, person. Although she is on sale. So. A hat. I invented a way to go faster than the speed of light. Thank you. First off, you gotta get to Alpha Centauri. That's gonna take you about 4 years going at the speed of light. And then once you're there, all you gotta do is you order a hat off of Amazon Prime. It's gonna get there in 2 to 3 days tops. You know, it's a fine joke. Wasn't it impressive that I worked in the suggestion? Yeah. Humans are no longer being eaten by lions on the regular, okay? Right? The only reason we're not in a utopia is because there's a couple of people out there who are like, oh, you're in need? Fuck you. Just a couple of assholes. Fine. Do you guys think that like the dick and like the shaft and the shaft and the balls are all like friends? I have a suspicion that they are, but I bet you the balls are like kind of closer friends, you know? I bet you the balls have some inside jokes, right? And they'll be laughing and the shaft will be like, hey, what are you guys laughing at? And the balls will be like, it's a ball thing! Get out of here, you shaft! Everything I do, with the exception of step aerobics, is an effort to become happy. Everything I do is just trying to get it, but I never like quite get. I don't know. Okay, so you know that thing where you're like a dolphin? You know that thing where you are a dolphin, right? And you're in the water, and you're like, boy, do I want to get fucking dry. So you jump in the air, and the sun kind of cooks you for a little bit, but then you land in the water again, and you're just trying to get dry, but you can only stay out of the water for like 2 seconds. You know that? It's so, the life of a dolphin is hell. They want to get dry, but never can. I just feel like I'm trying to get dry, I guess, like but okay, so you know that thing where you're an ant? Right? And your ant buddies are like, hey Frank, and your name's Frank, and they're like, hey Frank, let's go build this hill. Ants just call them hills. right? Specify. Let's go to this hill and your antenna's just kind of expecting, like, I'm not in the mood. You know that thing where you're like an undermotivated ant? That's kind of how I feel, but with comps and I don't have antenna. Trying to be optimistic, like, okay, so like a monkey is very optimistic. A monkey takes a shit, and then he looks at the shit and he sees opportunity for hijinks. A monkey throwing a shit is the height of optimist thinking, right? When I take shit, there's no inspiration. Right? So these feelings are very difficult to like explain. So like if you're a bird and you can fly but you're pregnant, so you have an egg and that egg's weighing you down. Right? That's sometimes, but like I'm the nest in that scenario. Or like, you know, when you're a wolf and you see a dog and you're like, is that my cousin? And then you pull up the dog and you're like, that was definitely my cousin. Like that's kind of me right now. Struggling with comps and might have fucked my cousin. Staying optimistic. Thank you very much.